I was at a party in Silver Lake, the east side of LA, where the artsy people live. And there were people there that probably don't love me. But I was there for a friend's special release party, and everyone there was really, really cool. And maybe some of them didn't like me. And I have no problem with any of them. I'm judging based on, an idea that some of the people there may have hated my guts. But I don't know. But did, probably. But it was a lovely event because nobody really talked about anything that would be controversial. Nothing came up. It was very, and I don't care if people leave and hate me or, I leave and hate them. And I don't think anyone's really hating anyone. But I think maybe there are people there that are like, I don't know about that guy. And that's fair. But we didn't get into it on any level, nor would we ever, because, I feel like there's nothing to be gained from that. Especially if you can look at somebody who you disagree with in some real profound ways, but say we're both rich and successful. And many of the people at this party they're not. And even though you may not love some of my ideas and I don't love some of your ideas, I respect the fact that you are rich and successful. And I just want that respect from you as well. And I got it. It's actually lovely. And we can have a very fake, superficial, good time at this party because that's what life's about. That is what life is about. It's not about getting to the bottom of it. Lies. It's not about burying a hatchet. What hatchet? What? It's not about mutual understanding, and it certainly ain't about mutual respect. It ain't about any of that. What it's about is a surface level acknowledgement that we can simulate. This is a simulation. And in this simulation, at this moment, we're friendly, and we are. And no matter what happens, you leave and you could go on social media and go, that fascist pig, it's okay. It's okay because when it mattered, we both showed up. And whoever it is, whoever these people in the world are that you have issues with, you can show up to be a fake version of yourself. You can be a hollow version of yourself. You can come and make small talk and build on that. You can build on nothing and build more nothing until you have castles of nothing. And that's where we can all live, in castles of nothing. Why would we argue about anything? We can just, we're human beings. People are human beings. Okay? That's my point. I was at this party and I was like, Harvey, I keep saying, I don't know why I'm saying this. And I keep saying Rob Reiner, but instead I'm saying Harvey Weinstein. just because it's LA and it's like such a bad, At the party, we found out that Rob Reiner was killed by his son, a tragic event. We've all wanted to kill our parents. We don't do it. You don't do it, okay? It's the holidays. Now, you realize in that moment when he is killed by his son, you realize that life is short. Not for him, he lived a long life. But you realize that life is precious. Why argue about nonsense? He was at Conan O'Brien's party having an argument with his parents the night before. When you hear that, you realize Conan O'Brien at a party you weren't invited to. That's what I realized. And I thought about that. And people said it's horrible that that man lost his life. And I said, where was that party? And they said, it was horrible. He stabbed his mother and his father. And I said, is it in the Palisades house? Because he still has that house that didn't burn down. And they went, well, the kid had been schizophrenic his whole life. He's been in and out of rehab. And it was like a really big, and I go, who gets to go to that? Is it like people he handpicks or? That's what's important. Do you know how much better this episode would have been if I was at the Conan O'Brien Christmas party? Do you know how much more worthwhile this whole thing would have been had I been a witness to that? But I was not invited. I was not invited because there's an idea in this town that I'm not a team player, simply because I have trashed people publicly and privately, and the directors of huge film franchises and agents and managers and business managers and my colleagues, other actors, politicians, members of the judiciary, my family, personal friends. Because of that, I am blacklisted from events that I would be fucking great at. So I'm forced to be in a Silver Lake backyard, okay, making peace with whatever, like people, instead of being, okay, Emmy winners, a few, one or two, total respect, shows I like and watch. But I'm not at other things that I should be at. I literally should be invited to every party in this town. And when you hear that somebody was stabbed to death by their child in their house, and before that, they were at a huge party that you weren't invited to, the first instinct you have is why? Why? Why was I not invited? Why? I've said nothing negative about Conan. I love him. I love Irish people. He's brilliant. Whatever. So many people ask me, what is the perfect holiday gift? And I tell them all the time, I say, go to Aura Frames, folks. It's a digital frame, unlimited photos you can upload and video, preload photos before it ships. It's a last minute, if you're a last minute shopper. You know the feeling. Shelves are empty and ideas are running low. Aura Frames is a solution with a gift that feels personal. There's a gift box included. You can share photos and videos effortlessly. Personalize your gift. Add a message before it arrives. My aunt and uncle were killed in a plane crash. He was a hobbyist pilot, and they were killed in a plane crash. And the photo of that burning jet I gave to my little cousin in an Aura frame. And even though it seems like it's insensitive, she loves it because it reminds her of her parents. Get the frame. For limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames. Named #1 by Wirecutter. Use promo code TIM at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code TIM. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You hear the news. This man, this legend of comedy, Rob Reiner, and his wife, Michelle, tragically meeting their end. And, you know, you think, I never met him. I was never invited to his home. There's so many people I have not met that I deserve to meet. And that's what you really start to think about. You start to think about the people you haven't met, the parties you haven't been to, the things you haven't done. That's what the holidays are about, the real stuff. And the fake, superficial, but lovely chats you could have with many people that have a myriad of views, and they don't have to agree with you. You're at a party and they're at a party. You know? That's the whole thing. And if this guy, and can I say something now? Can I just say a thing because I have this platform and it's all I have because I've been robbed of everything else. They've taken everything else from me. But can I say one thing? And I'm not throwing shade at anyone at that party. I'm certainly not throwing shade at Conan. I'm not throwing shade at any of these people. I think Bill Hader is a genius. I love Barry. People took a photo of him. I don't even know why. Can I say one thing? Am I allowed on my own platform to say one thing? Had I been at that party and had I spoken to Nick Reiner, Rob Reiner's alive. He is. No, he is. So I'm not trying to guilt anyone. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad. But if I was at the Conan party, not even invited, if I was at the Conan party and I could have grabbed Nick Reiner and took him outside and given him a Marlboro Light and chatted with him, he was probably a fan of this show or other shows I've done, and Nick Reiner, medication for schizophrenia. Yeah, definitely watches this show. Definitely a podcast fan. I would have been able to convince him with my charm, with my wit, with my personality. I'm quick on my feet. I would have been able to say, hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do it. So I'm just saying, the people that don't invite me have blood on their hands. Okay, and I don't mean to say, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm actually not. It sounds like I am. I'm not trying, but if you have not invited me to a party in LA and a schizophrenic, my mother's a schizophrenic, I actually know how to handle them. I know how to handle them. First of all, the first thing you say to a schizophrenic is, you're right. You don't argue with them. When I read they were arguing with this schizo at Conan's fucking house, which I believe is actually beautiful, I wouldn't know. They're arguing with this schizo. You don't fight with a schizo. When my mother said something, I went, you're right, hon. Lock her up. You don't argue with a schizophrenic. You put them in a home. Now, so I don't know what the fight was about. I don't know what it was over. I don't know if it was political or whatever the case would be. Can you show the picture of Rob and the son? Because the son, no, not that one. You know, the one everyone's sharing where you can see that the son has some problems. And by the way, it's a tragic thing that happened. And it didn't have to happen. Had I been there, it wouldn't have happened. I mean, I don't know what to say. I know people don't want to hear that. They're going to be upset. This is going to be another thing. I won't get invited to another thing. Did you hear what he said? He said he would have saved Rob. Well, I would have. I know how to deal with schizophrenics, especially in a mansion. My mother was living in a bungalow, and we dealt with her. I would know how to deal with a schizophrenic in a mansion. That's actually what I'm designed for. Can you imagine me and a schizophrenic in a large kitchen? It would work. He would leave that house, and he would go, that's a great guy I met, and I'm not killing anyone. But instead, we had the other thing. I don't know. It's not that one. It's another one. But you can edit that one in or whatever. It doesn't matter. The guy had problems. The guy had drug issues. I don't pretend to know. Play this a little bit, please.
Out front now, Alan Horn. He's a longtime friend of Rob Reiner. They were dear friends for over 50 years. They co-founded Castle Rock Entertainment together. Alan's currently a consultant for Warner Brothers Discovery, parent company, of course, of CNN. And Alan, I am really, it's hard to even find words to say, sorry for this shocking.
By the way, can you stop that? This is a pet peeve of mine. What do you mean it's hard to find words? You work at CNN. Your literal only job is to find words. No one is asking you to do anything else except find words. Just find the words. Say, I'm sorry for your loss. That's what you say. They all do this. I can't even find the words. Here they are. I'm sorry for your loss. Those are the words. And why was Tim Dillon not in the party to diffuse the situation? And then that guy would go, who the hell is that? And then she would go, you're part of the problem. There's a generational problem here in media and entertainment, okay? By the way, the podcast awards, they don't nominate Rogan or Theo or Matt and Shane or Cumtown. I mean, they should, even posthumously, you know, it's not around anymore, but they don't nominate the Tim Dillon show. They don't nominate Bad Friends. They don't nominate any of these shows, Flagrant, whatever. They don't nominate any of these things. They nominate none of those shows. Yet those shows are the most powerful shows in the world, supposedly, and elected the president, but none of them got nominated. That category has no credibility. And I like some of the people in that category, Amy Poehler, Smartless, whatever, but you have zero credibility if you're not nominating a few of the shows that I talked about. Not even mine. You don't have to nominate mine. Let's hear this, please.
This is your dear friend, one of your dearest friends. And, you know, for anyone watching, I mean, this is a man that is with you on the day your daughter was born. On the day, yes. Your daughter, Cody. Rob described you as like a big brother to him. How do you even process the fact that this has just happened?
Well, Aaron, first of all...
Are they going to get to the thing? Yeah, we can't watch 5 minutes. Are we going to get to the spot where Bill Hader tried to get him kicked out of the party or something based on what he said? The couple's youngest son attended the comedian's party on Saturday with Rob, 78, and Michelle, 68. He was brought to the party so that his parents could keep an eye on him, sources told Rolling Stone. While there, however, Nick interrupted comedian Bill Hader with a series of unsettling questions, according to the Wall Street Journal. Nick allegedly asked Hader and several other guests the same set of questions. What's your name? What's your last name? Are you famous? By the way, fair. Nick allegedly asked Hader and several other guests the same set of questions. What's your name? What's your last name? Are you famous? I thought he was threatening to kill his parents at the party. Are these people angry that he questioned their fame? Maybe they were like, maybe they were standing there and he's like, are you famous? And they're like, what are you, a schizophrenic? I'm very famous. Rob and his son got into a heated argument during the party, with one guest alleging that Rob told his son that his behavior was inappropriate. Another guest told the New York Times that Nick seemed anxious and uncomfortable through the night in a way that deeply unsettled them. A guest similarly revealed to people Nick was freaking everyone out, acting crazy, kept asking people if they were famous. Nick eventually was asked to leave, and the bodies were found less than 24 hours. It's sad. This is tough. I get it. This is a tragic thing. Titan of comedy, horrible, not good. I should have been at the party. I would have been able to help. Again, I don't want to make it about me. I don't want it to be like, oh, it's about me. Not about me. I was at another lesser event in Silver Lake. God help me. Lovely people. Lovely people. Okay. I was at this party. And it was lovely, and they had latkes, and it was a Hanukkah thing, and there was comedy special, and it was lovely. It was nice. It was a rental in Silver Lake, where I was, at a rental, while there was someone who needed care. Someone who needed care in the Palisades, and I could have been there to help, but I was not. Something to think about in the future, but whatever.